and Madras Christian College, I would say a movement started. But my question, Dr. Wilson, is in those days, AI was not there. There was not much of the backdrop was different. But one person with this passion and dream, with the social skills he had, was able to move forward. Explain that to today's. So, what makes this institution, or what's the DNA which created the space for lakhs of students getting trained and the ecosystem which has evolved around it? What it started with one person.
So as you said, it's a movement.
Yes.
I would say if it has to be a movement, there should be some kind of a skill sets among the missionaries. I'm talking about Scottish. Anderson started with a particular overview, and he brought inquiry as a pedagogy. And when Miller came into this particular institution, he scaled it up into a college, which was not part of the earlier draft. So that's a movement. He felt the need of scaling it up to a college. And he immediately executed it. So this, I would say, but for the social skills of Miller, it would not have been possible.
So social skills is one word
very important. It's a DNA, I would say. So Miller scaled it up to a college, which was not part of the Anderson's vision. So vision, it was a movement, I would say. So immediately when we migrated from the Georgetown campus, Boyd felt the need of including girls as part of the education.
That's a shift.
It's a great migration, I would say. 1937, they thought girls also, because the whole institution was started for boys as schools. From boys college, from boys college to a co-educational institution. So you have to put yourselves in the shoes of missionaries in those particular time, where how many criticism they would have faced.
And what sacrifice?
Exactly, it's a sacrifice, because they made a decision to take this institution into another dispensation. And moving from Georgetown to this particular campus, you have seen beautiful pavilion here.
Yes.
This wasn't a part of our old campus. So one of the reasons, I would say, it was recorded in the literature, they wanted to move is they used to send students to the High Court campus, the present High Court campus. They have a ground. They use only that particular campus for playground, as a playground. So they wanted to give education in a very broader sense, including physical education also as a part of education. That's a movement. They sacrificed the old established campus, which was existing there for 100 years. They moved to a new campus. It's not an easy decision. And Edward Barnes and Alice Barnes, as missionaries from Quaker movement from US, they came. They started as an institution from Church of Scotland. But I tell you, 1800s, Miller had a meeting in Miller's Road. He brought 7 denominations and he had a discussion with them, and he completely enhanced it with the perception that all denominations can be a part of it. I would say this campus was designed by 2 missionaries from Quakers movement, from US, not Scottish. And Wesley, the Corley School, Corley is a Methodist. And Meston is a Methodist person. So they are all Wesleyans, Wesleyan. They all were part of the whole movement. I would say they were so inclusive in their journey as they moved, only with the vision of God. They kept on moving. It was not the earlier vision. So they were adapting. Adaptability is a social skill, I would say.
Again, a key word, adaptability.
Exactly.
What keeps this institution as a movement? What keeps it going? What keeps it going? Because every year, with all these changes, the vision of the founders are still, it's alive through the students. So what's the core takeaway here?
As I mentioned, an institution's resilience is measured from its adaptability with changing in times. So as I mentioned, 100 years, great migration to this campus, and including physical education as part of our co-curricular activities.
And then adding the women
into the campus. These are all changes, disruptions, positive disruptions, I would call it as. And the missionaries were willing to adopt and adapt to the situation.
So much.
Yes. So if you look into the institutions, the organizational stability, and any institution which is not appropriating itself with changing in times would not be stable with time. I would say the stability of this institution for 189 years is because of the adaptability. Missionaries were adapting, and we were also adapting to it. And 1978, the UGC announced autonomous colleges. And we were the first batch of autonomous colleges in India to be instituted in India.
I see.
Only few autonomous colleges, around 78 in Tamil Nadu. We were the first batch of autonomous colleges to be commissioned. So 1978, we moved from university affiliation, it is still affiliated university, but we ran the institution on our own. We have our own system of examinations and own curriculum design. So this is another change, 1978. 1999, there was a call from the government of Tamil Nadu that you can even start self-finance stream. Because the government slowly started withdrawing from the higher education. So there was a need for starting more degree programs, and we started introducing new age curriculum. So visual communication, journalism, mass communication, all these came from 1999 onwards. So we started. So it's like we kept on changing with time, and that, I would say, that is the resilience of this institution, that is the stability of this institution, that is the social skill of this institution, which is disseminated to the student community. Yeah.
Talking about freedom, one side we have, we should not question. On the other side, questioning itself becomes a problem. How do you tackle this as a college principal, which is not just giving freedom, but also having this issue of don't question me? Because today's generation is saying, come to the point, don't question. So how do you handle these both different worlds?
I think MCC is one of the USPs, or unique selling points, is this. We don't suppress students and manage them. Normally, if you see a conventional education institution, would not treat students like adults. So as I mentioned, one of the alumni mentioned, we are treated like adults. We treat students like adults and dignify them and give them freedom to express themselves and explore themselves. This is a very important...
Express and explore.
Explore. This is a very, very important aspect of MCC. And also, by the organization structure, what we see is we make them to sit in the decision-making body called senators. So, college and society members, one chairman and student secretary, will be sitting in the senators, which makes decisions for its operations. I'm not talking about governance, for its operations. So, when the wardens are there, when the faculty members are there, they will sit along with them and make decisions. They will co-create the policies of Madras Christian College.
So, you mean to say that the students themselves co-create?
Exactly. We'll give them template. We'll ask them, shall we go ahead? And we'll also get their opinions and include that opinion. So, they are representing the whole 7,000 students here. So, they will go and probably ask for opinions from their own students and come back and give us opinions. And every policy that we co-create is owned by the stakeholders. So that means the stability of the policy is very high. The practice, implementing the policy also would be high, very high. So this is the idea with which we work, where freedom and accountability. So when you give freedom, as you said, the danger or the vulnerability is that people can resist, people can protest. So,
resist and protest.
Always, always. So we have seen that in the past ages, past dispensations, we have seen that. And we have also handled it adequately. So we'll negotiate with students. We'll make them sit with us and argue with us, reason out with them. And we'll make them understand and take the changes. So on the one side, I said adaptability. We keep changing as a movement. The other side, we have given freedom. You have to do a deep dive. An ecosystem that has freedom, ecosystem that adapts quickly. How is it possible? It's a challenge. And it's like you can suppress people and say, whatever I say, implement. And with the change can be easily implemented. But here, to implement a change against the existing practice, you have to align with people, you have to make them own the change and then bring the change into...
So, align, adapt.
Exactly.
As a principal, has there been incidences for you yourself where, sometimes you give this freedom, you give this, but sometimes you could be criticized as well. So how do you handle that part of it?
All the leaders in the past were criticized. Without criticism, you can't be in leadership. But the way you take the criticism as opinion from people, definitely. And if it is useful, I take it up and I try to change myself. That's very important for every leader. And we also have disciplinary measures in practice. So as students, we dignify them, make them sit in the senators. And at the same time, when they make errors, when they make mistakes, they are punished. And it's reversible also. We'll embrace them once again. It's like a message that we love you, but not your actions.
So, has there been examples in your own walk as a principal here where you've really, where you've taken action against a student, but at the same time, the same student has come back and said, sir, I come back with love and passion to the institution because that is what has molded me. So, how does this whole dichotomy work?
So, I would say the students take it in a very, very positive sense, because at that particular age, the hormones would not listen to the intellect. So they would behave in a very, very weird way. But when they get into the world and see the world and retrospectively think back, they're able to see, yes, my teacher corrected me because of this. I think that we see a lot of weaknesses among students. And I would say this is a very important aspect of the institution that other institutions also should learn, that don't suppress them and manage. Rather, you give them freedom to explore themselves. And at the same time, reason out and align them. That's very important.
So reason and align.
The parents, for parents also, in handling children, if you keep on saying them, no, if you don't ask the questions, if they, when they inquire something, if you say keep quiet, they'll become rebellious. Rather, you try to respond to them in a way it's possible to respond, and ask, answer the questions through a logical mode, and try to dignify them. And that freedom would not go in vain. Now, you might think that if you give too much of freedom, finally they'll become so rebellious. But if you don't give them freedom, if you suppress them, now when you ask me a question about parents, I would definitely have this aspect as part of parenting. As parents, you give them a freedom and with accountability. When they go wrong, you ask them questions. But always reason out, align, and make them to take ownership of the family. That's very important. The same atmosphere. We call peeps to our whole ecosystem as community. We say MCC as a family. See, that I would say that atmosphere brings students back as alumni and then give back to the institution. You can see Ms. Chandrika Tandon, Ms. Indira Nooyi, MRF, Mr. Venumaman, and TVS, Mr. Suresh. All of them gave back to the institution in crores. And they asked me, other principals used to ask me, sir, students come back as an alumni, but they take biryani and go back. That's it. They don't bother about giving back. What is the secret? Then I say, the freedom that we give, the personality development that we bring about here in institution, it returns back as sense of belonging.
A sense of belonging.
Yes, we dignify them, it comes back as sense of belonging. Even in schools, I would say, the headmasters, the principals of schools, if they follow this, giving them freedom, at the same time, giving them an accountability boundaries, definitely students will, have a sense of belonging to come back, because they would see this institution treated me like an adult and enabled me to explore my personality. And I'm able to be now as a leader only because of this institution. It is, I want to tell you at this juncture, it is not how many hours you handled classes or remembered by students. Only the first benches might remember, but the middle benches and back benches would remember the tea that you offered to them. Maybe over the tea you spoke to them in the canteen.
The human touch.
That's very important. I would say here every professor, they invite students for tea, for dinner, for lunch, either as cohorts or as individuals, and they spend time with students.
In the next episode, we're going to dive into, you're talking about the future. I see that you have done something uniquely called the MCC Innovation Park, and there's a lot you have done. But I would like to explore that part of what your mindset is. Why would, because I know it started as a kind of a passion in 1937, but in today's era, if we don't think ahead, it can become a monument.
Exactly.
So, what's your take on that? And what should the parent community, student community, and the teachers community draw from that inspiration? So, that's my question, and that's coming up in the next episode, MCC MRF Innovation Park. Now, that was your brainchild. What made you think that this is very important for this institution? I just need one takeaway from this whole ecosystem which God has given that burden to you to think through this whole process. So what's the one takeaway? As a student moving from school to college, what should I do? That's from a student's question. What should I do from a parent question? And what should I do from a faculty question? And that's coming up in the last part of our episode.